If you thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to make some big splashes this NFL offseason after a disappointing playoff exit, well, you were dead wrong. Instead of going all in with aggressive moves to reload for a championship run, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have orchestrated one of the most baffling, head-scratching offseasons in recent memory. Their conservative approach of making minimal additions while essentially running it back with the same core group from last season has left fans and analysts utterly dumbfounded. Are the Cowboys geniuses pulling off a calculated gamble? Or have they massively overestimated their current roster, setting themselves up for an epic collapse under the weight of extraordinary expectations? The stakes couldn't be higher for the Cowboys heading into 2024. Anything less than an NFC East title and a deep playoff run will likely be seen as an abject failure that triggers a rebuild and massive organizational changes. With so much on the line, Jerry's decision to double down on a roster that has chronically underachieved rather than upgrading the talent is an all-or-nothing roll of the dice that has the entire NFL world scratching their heads. Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Fan, your ultimate destination for all things America's team. Whether you bleed blue and silver or are just starting to catch Cowboys fever, this is the place. If you are a die-hard fan, please make sure to subscribe for more latest news and updates of your favorite team. After a season that ended in disappointment with a wild card round exit against the Green Bay Packers, many fans and analysts were expecting some major changes and big splashes from America's team this offseason. But instead of aggressively pursuing top free agents or orchestrating blockbuster trades, the Cowboys' approach has been subdued, almost eerily quiet. And this puzzling strategy has left the sports world utterly baffled. Let's set the stage here. The 2024 season is shaping up to be a make-or-break campaign for the Cowboys. Expectations in Dallas are always sky-high, but this year, the pressure's through the roof. Anything less than winning the NFC East and making a deep playoff run will likely be seen as a colossal failure that could trigger massive changes within the organization. We're talking potential replacements for franchise quarterback Dak Prescott, the face of the franchise since 2016. And even head coach Mike McCarthy might not be safe if the Cowboys falter this season. This team is all in for a Super Bowl run, and the consequences of missing that mark could be catastrophic. Now, with those sky-high expectations and so much on the line, you'd expect Jerry Jones and the Cowboys to be ultra-aggressive this offseason, right? Loading up on talent, making bold moves to bolster their roster and give themselves every possible advantage for a championship push. But instead, the Cowboys' off-season strategy has been head-scratchingly conservative. Fox Sports analyst Craig Carton summed it up perfectly on a recent episode of The Carton Show, saying, "I really cannot figure out how and why the Dallas Cowboys are operating like this." Carton isn't alone in his bewilderment. Analysts and fans across the league have been left scratching their heads at the Cowboys' lack of major moves this offseason. So just what have the Cowboys done so far? Well, they hired respected defensive mind Mike Zimmer as their new defensive coordinator, a solid addition to be sure. And they signed veteran linebacker Eric Kendricks to bolster their linebacking cores. But those are hardly the kind of splashy blockbuster moves you'd expect from a team in all-in mode. One theory behind the Cowboys' reserved approach is that they have full confidence in their current roster and believe better execution, rather than an influx of new talent, is the key to unlocking their championship potential. After all, this is a Dallas team absolutely loaded with blue-chip talent on both sides of the ball. On offense, the Cowboys boast one of the league's most explosive passing attacks, led by Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and a receiving core that torched defenses in 2023. The offensive line is still formidable when healthy, paving the way for Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard in the running game. Defensively, you've got game wreckers like Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Trayvon Diggs leading a unit that was among the stingiest in the NFL last season. Dallas already has the horses to make a Super Bowl run, the thinking goes. They just need to put it all together and execute at a higher level, especially in big games. But if that's truly the Cowboys' strategy to run it back with largely the same core group from last season, it's an enormously risky gamble given the lofty expectations and intense pressure surrounding this team. Dallas is banking everything on its highly paid stars, finally living up to the hype and delivering when it matters most. If players like Prescott, Lamb, Elliott, and Parsons can elevate their play and the Cowboys get solid coaching and a few bounces go their way, this could be a masterstroke from Jerry Jones, essentially loading up for one more title run with an already talented roster while preserving future salary cap flexibility. However, if this core group falters yet again and the Cowboys fail to make a deep playoff run, the consequences could be catastrophic. We're talking a potential franchise reset with an aging, highly paid roster likely getting blown up. Dak Prescott's days in Dallas could be numbered. Mike McCarthy would almost certainly be fired. Tough decisions would have to be made on fading stars like Elliott. This is a nightmare scenario that Jerry Jones has to be praying his team can avoid at all costs with its conservative offseason approach. One other major decision still looming for the Cowboys is what to do about free agent cornerback Stefon Gilmore. The 2019 Defensive Player of the Year was outstanding after being acquired mid-season in 2023, giving Dallas an elite lockdown corner. Retaining Gilmore would be a major boon for the Cowboys' championship hopes, solidifying what was already a formidable secondary. But if Gilmore departs, suddenly the Cowboys could have a gaping hole in their defense that would need to be addressed. For a team choosing to largely run it back with the same core group, losing an elite piece like Gilmore could be a devastating blow that jeopardizes their title aspirations. So as we approach the 2024 season, all eyes are locked on the Dallas Cowboys to see how this massive gamble of an offseason strategy plays out. Did Jerry Jones and the Cowboys masterfully double down on their uber-talented roster in a last-ditch effort to maximize their championship window? Or have they disastrously overestimated their core group's ability to get over the hump, making zero upgrades of consequence? Only time will tell if this was a calculated risk that pays off in long-awaited Super Bowl glory for America's team, or if Jerry Jones' conservative offseason was a recipe for disaster that leaves the Cowboys crumbling under the weight of extraordinary pressure and bloated expectations. Buckle up, Cowboys Nation. We're in for one hell of a ride in 2024. To say the stakes couldn't be higher would be a massive understatement. This subdued offseason has transformed the Dallas Cowboys into the ultimate boom or bust team heading into a season that will define their legacy. That's a wrap on this edition of my Cowboys offseason analysis. Stay tuned for more breakdowns, predictions, and insight as we count down the days to the 2024 season. I'll be covering all the burning questions and storylines surrounding our Dallas Cowboys until kickoff and beyond. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you all next time. Let's go Cowboys!